3, 2, 1.
Hello. Hello, my fellow cigar lovers and addicts. Welcome to Fogies Freaky Friday show. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Been another long week this week, and it's Mother's Day weekend. So happy Mother's Day to all of the beautiful mothers out there, the unsung heroes of the family, the glue, the nurse, the nurturer, everything. So I want to wish all of the mothers out there happy Mother's Day. And I hope that you guys got some good plans to be with family and do everything. And my man Bobby, what's up, brother? Glad you could make it. Going to be a really good show tonight. I got some seriously good stuff in store. Tonight's kind of a special one, you know, for some of us that our moms is gone. You know, my mother, she passed away, man, it's been 34 years ago or something like that. We actually buried my mom on her 31st birthday, her 51st birthday, excuse me, which was tough. You know, it was a rough time for me in my life, and I miss her a lot, you know. And I was kind of on the outs with her when she passed, and was never able to make amends for that. So if you get pissed at your moms, cut her some slack, because she's let you get away with murder for a long, long, long time. Hey, Shock. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming. Welcome to the show. Mother's Day weekend. It's going to be a good one. I don't know what everybody's smoking tonight. Hey, there's the youngin'. Hey, what's up, brother? Welcome to the 3M Mother's Day show. I know you're probably wondering what the 3 M's are, but we're gonna find that out. we got a long show tonight. I ain't in any hurry to go anywhere, and I just want to hang out with you guys tonight and just have a really good time and have some really good conversation and just be chill. And you guys let me know what y'all are smoking on and sipping on tonight. So, in honor of moms, I'm fixing to start me out with the tampon. I'm going to smoke the Room 101 Namakubi. These are pretty good cigar. And I really enjoy these. They're tasty. And it's something that I don't break out all the time. They've been kind of hard to find around here, and so I was lucky to get some in the last couple of weeks, and I actually found some at a local, because I think these normally go in the, you know, mid-20s, something like that, but blowers, I don't know, but I got these for 10. per stick. So it was a hell of a good find. Get that damn blue thing off of there and get this tissue off of here. Be sure and put this in the feminine products disposal bin. But there it is. So it's a pyramid. These are the 2024s. So they got a little bit of age on them. Actually, this is a figurado, but it's got the kind of closed foot on it. So Shock's got the Placencia Amadacilio. Well, they're 12 now. That's a yummy sauce right there. Man, I almost pulled out of my Amadacilio Hexto tonight, but I decided not to. Padron 2000. Well, there you go. That's a good one too, man. Bobby Smoking on the Basin 2025. Now that's a good one, man. I tell you what, I do really like it, man. Hey, Narathinge, what is up? Glad you could make it tonight. Your tobacco nuts figurado, right on. That's good, man. That I really like that. That freaking 10th anniversary Johnny Tobacco Nut. That some bitch was delicious. Get this some bitch cut up here. Man. Well, I hope everybody's had a great week. I've been like super busy. Tobacco figurados. Now you're making me think. Maybe I didn't choose wisely. Get this fucker lit up, get going here. So I hope everybody's got some good plans to spend some time with some family, do something nice for moms this weekend. I got a honey-do list like a mile long that I got to do, and I've been doing all kinds of stuff for Brenda to get get her everything she wants and get her flowers in this week and doing a bunch of stuff like that. And it's actually been a pretty crazy week for me. Of course, with work, I have been so busy with all this project management stuff for a minute, and I just I haven't had time to turn around. I haven't worked less than about a 65-hour week in a couple months, So I'm looking forward. June 1st is our deadline to get a lot of this stuff done, and I am ready for it to get here. Man, now that's good. That is yummy. Try and get this thing. I always have a little bit of a hard time lighting these damn figurados. Sometimes they want to get a little wonky on you, but they always straighten out in the end. Well, hey, happy trip around. Gonna be like 28 again and shit. Oh, happy birthday, my man. Oh man, nice. I hope you guys have an amazing time. I've not ever been to Arizona. I've heard a lot about it. I actually got a buddy that just moved down there, my buddy Terry Moore, that lived and worked with in Wichita, and he just moved down there. Ooh, the big 66. Wow. Well, um, about time. About time to go have some fun with the missus and enjoy it, man. Nara says happy birthday. Birthday wishes from Shock. Yeah, man, it's always nice to celebrate your birthday. You know what I mean? It's that day where you always feel special. Well, right on. Man, my brother went down there, and I guess, I don't know if it's around Phoenix or whatever, but I guess they got this huge fucking hot air balloon festival down there. And, or Scottsdale or something. I don't remember exactly where it is, but, um, I, uh, I want to go check that out. He said they went and said that it was just absolutely freaking amazing. Absolutely. And I've been doing that, man. I have been doing that. And it's been, dude, it's been a great week for me. Stogie wise. So I want to share with you guys some of the stuff that I have picked up at locals this week that is just freaking insane hauls. So I got a couple of AJs. I got one of those Decenios. I got a New World. Got one of the new Rocky Patel Year of the Horses. Found me another Belgian Blue. Found me another EP Pledge Purple. Then I haven't tried these, but the next ones are Curavari, which is a cigar that's made by this Greek guy, and they're actually supposed to be really good, and they got a really good price point on them. And then, of course, I got me three more of the Opus Oro Oscuros, and that is the double Robusto on that one. So I picked those up. And then what else did I get? I got one of those new Dominican undercrowns. Got a couple of Don Carlos. Got that AJ Amar. I have not tried that yet. And then I got a couple of those El Pupo Lanceros, which I'm really looking forward to trying those. I hope those are really good. And then I also picked up today, I got me a Villiger, the Cularis Crema. I got one of the Cielo Americas. I'm looking forward to trying that. Got me a little Olmec Maduro, couple of the little Casa Cuba, little Coronas, and then I got a couple more of the Opus Oscuro. That's the Perfection number 4s. So really, really lucked out on getting those. But the one that I really, really scored on was this. I haven't opened this yet, but look at this. So this is the 2025 Don Carlos Sangre de Toro, which is Blood of the Bull. And these are the Robustos, man. Yeah, I am really looking forward to letting these age. And it's just such a beautiful box. This is like the most beautiful box of Don Carlos I ever seen. I just had to have it. I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? So I will be looking forward to smoking some of those. In fact, I was able to get that box, and then like I said, I got I got 2 more of them out of the box. So I got a couple to smoke there. And then, then I'm going to let that box sit around for a little while and see how that does, man. Yeah, don't it though? I mean, it's just like I seen that and I about shit myself. I was like, okay, where's the master charge? Let's go ahead and get that sumbitch, because it ain't like you're gonna find one anywhere anytime soon or anything. Right on. I haven't smoked any of them, of the El Pupos, so I'm really looking forward to trying that shock. And yeah, that box is just sick. You know, I got to make some damn room for it. Man, this thing's smooth. Oh my God, the French exhale on this is just super light, super light. Hey, Ron, Mr. Cash, what's up, brother? Man, I don't know if you've seen it on my Facebook post. I was just showing these guys, but I got a bunch of other cigars. But dude, look at this, Ron. I freaking scored. Got me a big old box of Don Carlos. And I will definitely have to bring some of those down and smoke them with you next time I come to Springfield, brother. That'll be fantastic. So, I kind of want to share with you guys something that happened this week. Yeah, brother, it was. I just I could not get it, because I love Don Carlos anyway. I mean, like I'm a huge, like I've got probably a box and a half of the Don Carlos Sharks, and I love smoking those, and just the regular Don Carlos. Just about any Vitola of that is fantastic. Yeah, dude, it won't be long. Now I got to go to St. Louis on Monday to work for a couple of days, but I'll probably be back down there in a couple 3 weeks. So be ready, man. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. I just found some lot of goodies this week and spent way too much damn cash on stogies, but I had a little bit, so kind of want to share something with you guys of something that's really cool that happened to me this week. Um, I live in Jackson County, Missouri, and we couple 3 years ago, the director of the county was Frank White, who is ex Kansas City Royals player. He just had the assessment department just screw up everybody's shit. They were running through neighborhoods in like 5 minutes and shit. They didn't do anything. They just assessed stuff way high. So I bought my house in 2012 and I paid like $134,500 for it. Got a really good deal on it. Got like 3.875 interest rate on it and stuff. Well, they came back 3 years ago, and my house had been appraised county-wise for property tax about $162,000, which that kept my mortgage payment right around $1,000, which is great. I could afford that no problem and still have some moolah. And but anyway, so that year they jacked it up from about 160 to 260 in 1 year. So that left my escrow deficit at like negative 7,000. So the mortgage company was fixing to like, jack my damn shit up. And then the next year it went up like another 25,000. So it went from 162 to like 280 something in 2 years. Had a negative escrow balance 2 years in a row. and they wanted to start jacking up my mortgage payment to almost $1,800 to make up the difference, And I was like, shit, I can't, if I could afford that, I'd have me a new truck, that's a freaking new truck payment, And so anyway, had to do a loan modification on the house to bring the payment back down. Well, they just kind of basically, restarted the loan almost, you know what I mean? It was kind of crazy. I didn't know what was going on with it. And I was like, okay. So, uh, I talked to my son. My son was wanting to buy a house and he was going to move out and do some stuff. And, then, I just was like, well, why don't you buy the house, son? So this week, my baby boy bought his first home, bought my house for me. So now he's the proud owner of my house, and he gets to stay here with me and hang out, and I get to live here still, so that's a good thing. So he's going to pay the mortgage payment, and then we're going to pay all the bills and buy all the food and do all that stuff. And he's actually getting set up to where he wants to pay this house off in like 6 years. He's going to pay double payments for like 6 years. So kudos to him for that. I'm really excited. I'm really happy for him. And I hope that, that he does, make that to where he can, chase that, because he's wanting to buy investment properties and do all kinds of stuff. So that was really cool. Took a load off of me too, There wasn't no way I was going to be able to do no, freaking $1,800 mortgage payment. It just wasn't going to happen, and I was sure in the hell wasn't going to, start my mortgage all over again when I've been paying on this house for almost 14 years. So thanks. Yeah, and dude, he's just a financial wizard, dude. I tell you what, he's 26, he's got over 100K in his 401k. He's got a brokerage account that he plays with stocks and crypto and stuff. He's probably got 15 grand in his checking account, and he plays the credit game. Shit, his FICO score is almost 800, dude. And so I actually gifted him all the equity that I had in the house, which was almost $140,000. So I just gifted him the equity, and all he had to do was finance what I had left to pay the house off. So he got it super cheap, Old dad's hooked him up on that. But it was always my intent for him to have this house anyway, And shit, if I'd have had to pay for it for another 30 years, I'd be dead, and he'd have to go through all the bullshit to get it and everything. So I'm real proud of him, was something really cool that I was happy to see, and glad that that's kind of off my plate and I don't have to worry about it, Wow, that's good. I may have to go back up and get the rest of these, for 10, shoot. That's a no-brainer on that. But so anyway, the 3Ms, I should have put that up already. I'm slacking. So anyway, the 3Ms tonight. So the first M, I want to talk about music. A lot of times, you don't you don't hear anybody in lounges or anything, or on any kind of live streams or any kind of shows talk about the music that they like, you know. And I myself, like I said, I was a huge vinyl collector for years. I just had all kinds of stuff that I've listened to over the years, stuff that I've heard a million times that I really love. And I just I want to talk about some of my favorite bands, you know. So first and foremost, I got to stand up for this so you can see it. But I'm even got them on my skin. So Pink Floyd, man, I love me some Pink Floyd. Been listening to them and enjoying them ever since I was a little kid. Um, I love their live shows, and I've been to a couple of Pink Floyd shows at like Arrowhead Stadium where the Chiefs play, and man, it's a light show. It's just the whole deal. So I really love them, and I had every record that they had. In fact, I've still got my original press Dark Side of the Moon, the U.S. release, not the U.K. That some bitch is worth some money, and I never could find one that was in decent shape. But so I really like listening to them, but I like all kinds of stuff. And like this week, um, I hadn't listened to them in a while, but my my favorite Rick James. I'm Rick James, bitch. My favorite Rick James album is called Throwing Down, and I was cranking that in my work truck this week while I was driving around town, and it just kind of kept me busy. And I really enjoyed listening to that. Love me some Rick James, Um, so another thing that I'm really into is like 60s psychedelic music. Of course, you guys know me. I'm an old Deadhead, and love that scene. Love following the Dead around and you know doing all that kind of stuff. But I think fuck my couch. Oh yeah, I don't have a couch down here, bud. I don't know. Might have to buy me one so I can go fuck it. Who knows? Um, but so there's this one band that, yeah, right. I don't know what we got going on there, but anyway, good old comeback there. Thank you, Shock. you know. Um. So what are some of the bands that? Oh! It's the Rick James. Okay, I I I don't know that one. I don't know that one. He says it's the Rick Skeet. Skit. Oh, dude. Okay. My bad. My bad. I lost you. I lost you. Yeah, from the Chappelle. I'm sorry. Oh, shit, man. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got to watch that again, man. I haven't watched that skit in a minute, Um, I've watched some of the, other, like newer, Chappelle shows and stuff that he's put out lately. Good to see him back. Yeah, dude, you caught me off guard with that one. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? But now I know. But man, he got successful and then just went off and bought his whole damn town. He owns a whole damn town that he lives in, and he's the landlord of the whole fucking town. How cool is that? You know what I mean? But yeah, so I've been listening to some Rick James, and then I like a lot of like, you know, good piano music. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, you never know because I be fucking with people all the time too, so I appreciate that, man. And, I definitely got to watch that. I'll have to pull it up this weekend and do it up. Um, and another thing, you wouldn't think that I would be into it. So I really love this German band called Kraftwerk. And you've probably heard a lot of it. I mean, they used to do a lot of craft work, especially off like the Tour de France. They use that in like the Breaking movie and Computer World and stuff like that. So those guys were basically the pioneers of synthesizers. They were the very first. They started making their own instruments. They were the very first ones to start making electronic music. And man, I've listened to them for years, and I really, really dig Kraftwerk. Man, it's if you've never heard of them or never tried it, it's an acquired taste, but man, they got some really good stuff, and it's really good. It's really good for a stogie, man. Just kick back and just kind of just kind of takes you on a trip, and there's all kinds of sound effects that they're throwing in with that stuff, and it's it's really good. It is, um, probably one of his bests. Another one of the Chappelle skits that I really loved was the one where there was the sexual scandal going on at the Jedi school, and he played Yoda and shit, and yeah, he was talking about had the little shit, and he was like, "Get down, do you?" And then he was like, "Yoda sniffs white powder." Yeah, that was a great fucking skit too, man. I really like that one. But what's some of y'all's favorite bands? What's some of your go-to stuff, or something new, or something that you guys been jamming out to lately? Um, yeah, right. Um, I don't know. I mean, some of the new music, man, I can't get into it. Um, yeah, that's classic, 90s. Um, I got a couple of their CDs and you know listen to some of their classic songs. Um, what else I've been listening to lately? Been listening to some Helen Mirren. I don't know if you know who that is. Old vocalist from back in the 50s and stuff. She's got some really good stuff. And speaking of vocalists, somebody that I just kind of got turned on to lately. I don't know if you've ever heard of her or not, but her name's Lana Del Rey. And man, that chick's got some chops on her. And she's got some really really good music. Couple of good albums that I've listened to. Good traveling music. Um, yeah, check her out, man. In fact, the album that I recommend that you listen to of hers first. So she's got this album that's called "Fuck Norman Rockwell," and it is great. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I think you would like it too. It's she got a great voice, and just man, I really dig uh, listening to her stuff, and just got recently turned on to her. I didn't even know who she was, but I guess she's got like shit tons of albums out, man. So she's been around for a minute. Man, this thing's really getting chocolatey. I mean, like milk chocolate. Like, holy crap. And then of course all the old, I grew up in the 80s, man, so all the hair bands and stuff, and the Motley and the Ozzy and the, you know, Aerosmith and Poison. Uh yeah. In fact, not too long ago, well, this has been probably about 3 years. Um yeah, I definitely do, man. Um, yeah. Norman Rockwell must be your ex. Oh man, yeah. Old Ozzy. I mean, dude, when I was a kid, I listened to Black Sabbath. Although my mother hated me. If she caught me listening to that shit, she'd make me turn it off, even if it was on the radio. It was, turn that crap off. That's the devil music. He eats bats and shit. Oh, she used to freak out on Ozzy, man. Um, Mom didn't dig too much on, anything that was weird or had, like Alice Cooper. I never could listen to any Alice Cooper or anything like that. And, oh, hell, man. But yeah, so anyway, the Royals play at the stadium. It's called Kauffman Stadium. And the first time that I know of that they ever had a concert there, it was called the Stadium Tour, and I think it came out in 24. And so it was Joan Jett, and it was Joan Jett, Poison, Motley, and Def Leppard. Amazing show. Joan Jett came out first. It was kind of sunny out, and everything hadn't quite got going there. Everybody was still showing up and everything, but she rocked it. She played a lot of her classics, and then Poison came on, and they rocked all their stuff. Of course, Neil was like screaming. He he just couldn't get his voice out, man. He was cracking his voice and everything. And then Motley came on, and it kind of got screwed up because it was like, they were on stage down in the outfield, and had this massive wall of sound. And like the whole freaking left channel, the whole left side of the sound stage just went out. I mean, just blew. I don't know what the hell happened. So like half the volume went down, and then it was only coming from one side. And then they were, they were trying to adjust the other side to be a little bit louder and whatever while they were, and it just sounded like shit. And, but, the only thing that was cool was, Tommy Lee come out, and he asked for titties, he's like, I can't believe, is this Kansas City? Are we really in Kansas City? I can't believe I'm on stage in Kansas City and I ain't seen no titties yet. So then, bam, the cameras start going around, and out they come, boy. It was Boob Fest 2024, man. They was breaking them out for Tommy, and oh, dude, that would be delightful. You know what I mean? I love one of my first Earth, Wind, and Fire albums that I ever fall in love with was Rise. Let's Groove Tonight and shit like that. Oh my God, so good. Yeah, that was Tommy, boy. And then, dude, like right before their set got done, the soundstage came back on, and they got it going, and they finished. So their set really kind of sucked. You know what I mean? And it was just like, oh fuck, I don't know. But then Def Leppard come out. It was getting dark. They stole the freaking show. Let me tell you, they rocked it. Everything sounded so good, and they had this massive, display, just the light show, everything. I mean, they made everybody else look like a bunch of amateurs, man. So just going and rocking out and finishing off with Def Leppard just made that whole show just absolutely amazing, you know. Yeah, that's like one of my faves, you know. You know, and if you know, if you like them, you gotta love like Cool and the Gang. You know, that's another great band I like to listen to. You know, they got a lot of classy, you know, hits that everybody jams out on all the time. But I don't know. And then I like, you know, I like a little bit of jazz. I'm not like a huge jazz guy. I like, you know, listening to some. I like listening to drummers. You know, I like, you know, Buddy Rich, Neil Peart, uh, you know, Carmen Appice, um, Stuart Copeland from like the Police. I like listening to drummers play. Of course, my brother Kevin's a drummer. You know, I did that. If you haven't seen it, go on a channel and check out the video that I got on there called Amazing Drum Room. And you'll shit, man. My brother, he's been playing drums almost his whole life. He's got the coolest drum room I ever seen, man. And he kind of got me turned on to listening to, you know, like Dave Weckl. I never knew who the hell that was, but Kevin turned me on to him. He's a great drummer. And but yeah, so I like to listen to that kind of stuff. And then, you know, I like well, I used to. So when I was about probably 5, my dad bought me a saxophone, alto sax, and I started playing that. And I I actually liked it, but I had to go take lessons, and then but the I was so young that, man, the practice time cut into my play time. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I don't want to, you know, the music thing was my brother's, and he was really into it, and my dad was hoping that he could connect with me if, you know, if I became a musician and whatever. And so he kind of pushed me a little bit too. So I just kind of quit going to the lessons and quit practicing. And I was like, done. He was pissed off because he bought me this brand new badass saxophone and everything and paid for the lessons and all that stuff. And so anyway, you know, then in the 6th grade, I was like, man, I want to play the trumpet because my brother Kevin's friend, Daryl McClary, was a trumpet player. He was a cool guy. I used to like to listen to him play trumpet. So I wanted to play trumpet. So I didn't even have one. I went to the band sign up thing that day in 6th grade and, you know, wanted to start playing. Well, my dad was like, well, I'm not going to go buy you no brand new thing. So they used to have this thing here in Independence that was called Wild Woody's Bargain Town. And it was kind of like a big flea market and shit. You know, people would have like booths set up and stuff. And they went in there and he went and found the biggest, oldest chunk of shit, cheap ass trumpet that he could find. And it even had like, you know, the bell on it was all smashed in and like crumpled all around it and shit, and had like little pieces of fucking brass missing out of it and stuff. And he was like, here, you could play that. And then if you do good with it, then maybe I'll buy you a real trumpet, you know. Maybe you can be a real boy someday, Pinocchio, you know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't care. I was like, I could play it. So I did play it. And, so anyway, yeah, played up in high school, got into marching band, got into the jazz band. Um, yeah, no doubt, dude. I mean, that's where a lot of the good finds are, you know, at the flea markets and stuff. I love going to those, you know. And but anyway, so yeah, you know, played in jazz band and marched up till 10th grade, and then I got braces. And dude, just trying to play the trumpet with braces on and cutting the shit out of my lips and everything. I just kind of gave it up. And my dad actually went out and bought me this beautiful Yamaha silver trumpet, just an expensive, gorgeous thing. And I played it for a while, and then I just was kind of like, man, I just can't. I couldn't do it anymore, and I didn't want to. And then when I moved away, yeah, dude, it was like it hurt so bad it would cut the shit out of my lips. And then when they would like tighten them, do the tightening and stuff, it would hurt so bad I couldn't play. So I'd go in with like wire cutters and shit and cut them wires. And it would piss my dad off because I'd have to go back for another appointment and stuff. But I couldn't play. And especially like if we had a concert or we had to go march, I couldn't play after I just got a tightening, and it just screwed me all up, man. So, but it was cool. And then I piddled around with piano a little bit, and I piddled around with guitar and stuff like that. But I got, my phalanges is just too freaking short, I got like fucking Trump hands. I got these short little fingers and shit. But I don't know. I just, at this point, it's just kind of like, I just really don't have enough time to devote to enjoying it and being able to do it, and really get into it to where it's worth me going out and buying another instrument or anything. But I did love to play, and learned how to read music and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool. But I don't know. That's kind of, it kind of left a sore taste in my mouth. And then, my mom freaking kicked me out of the house when I was, 16 years old. And I ended up having to sell that fancy trumpet and shit to pay for some gasoline and pay my phone bill, So anyway, I don't know. I had some fun memories. Marching band was cool, and learning how to do all those, you know, doing all the patterns and all that stuff, and then like marching in some parades and stuff. So I got to experience it and what it was like. I wasn't ever no first chair player or anything. I think like third chair was the highest that I ever got with any of my bands and stuff. But I really dug it. Yeah, it was tough. Like I said, and then shortly thereafter, like I said, I was kind of on the outs with my mom, so I didn't. I never really got to tell her how much I love her. So appreciate your moms even when they piss you off. You know what I mean? Because they're still your mom. And, I wish she was still here to even just rag on me. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I don't know how many of you guys were still here from last week, but remember I showed you guys my new truck that I bought, right? And I bought this nice little you know Ford Ranger, little 4-wheel drive FX4, and been fixing it all up, putting brakes on it and doing all that shit, and just getting used to it and driving it around town and everything. And I was trying to figure out, last week, um, oh, and I do, brother, you know what I mean? I do, I feel her presence sometimes, she's watching out for me. She's still around, and ultimately she loved me more than I could ever understand until I had my first child, you know. I always tell people that, I never really knew what love was until my son was born, you know. So some turned right on, played the clarinet and then went full blown DJ, huh? DJ, spin that shit. That's great. But anyway, so it's trying to come up with a name, for the truck. And you know me, I love my Star Wars shit and everything. So I came up with this cool name and idea of what I want the truck to be. So I've got some graphics put together and stuff and everything. So I've decided that I'm gonna name the truck Dirt Vader. you know, and probably get some vinyl wraps and shit and have it look like that. I think that'd be totally badass. And then I've got to I gotta actually go get my tags and all that crap. So I put in for Missouri personal license plates that says Old Fogey on it. So it's OLDFGY. So I'm gonna get my Old Fogey plates and put it on my Dirt Vader truck. I tried to get Dirt Vader, but I guess every rendition of it that I tried was already taken on the tags. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go Old Fogey on the tags and everything. You know. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I think it'll come out really cool, and I'll just do like some decals or some vinyl wrap stuff on there or whatever, and I think it'd be pretty damn sweet. I'm really loving that truck, and finally got all my shit. Got my phone holder and got my freaking my WeatherTech floor mats came in today, and got those on there, and it's ready. You know. Name Yoda, right on. Was it green? Was it a green Toyota? Oh, he had it. He sold it. Man, I tell you, those little trucks. That's kind of why I bought that some bitch. It was just like I knew. It was a white one. Right on. But you can get shit tons of miles out of them. It's just one of those deals where it's like if you just you know keep oil in it, keep antifreeze in it, don't tear the shit out of it. There'll be some good trucks, and I've got a couple buddies that got some of those older Rangers that have got upwards of 300,000 miles on them, and they're still running good. So um, yeah, that was pretty freaking cool. So anyway, I want to switch segments here to the second M. So let's let's talk about movies. You know, I think there've been some really good movies come out lately. In fact, my old lady, dude, she dying to try to get me to take her to that new Devil Wears Prada. And you know, of course, who doesn't want to go see Anne Hathaway? You know what I mean? And the first one was pretty good, but she's been really bugging me to go see that. So I'll probably, since it's Mother's Day, uh, I'll get some tickets and go take her to go see that this weekend, probably. But I don't know. I just kind of hate. I kind of hate going to the movies anymore. It's just so easy to be at home and watch stuff, and I don't have to freaking I don't have to go. I can pause shit and go to the bathroom or grab a snack or you know do whatever. It's kind of like you know um some of you older guys, you probably remember like going to the drive-in. Anybody remember going to the drive-in when they were younger? We used to love to go to the drive-in. And then you was always wanting some popcorn or something, and they always played that same intermission thing when you got in between you know, the movies or whatever, because it'd usually be like 2 or 3 movies whenever you go to the drive-in, so you get to see, you know, like maybe the newest one, and then maybe something that's been out for a little while, and then like you know, then do the you know, like some old one or something like that. But they always had this rolling on there.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn
I
can't
remember
be
going
beat.
running straight there every time I seen this sumbitch, you know.
The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
You know, I was like, Mom, you know, give me some money. I need some popcorn. You know, want some popcorn and some sugar babies or something. You know. Yeah, dude. You know, and we had this big old Ford van and shit, and we'd turn it around backwards and just have all the sleeping bags in there, and do all that kind of stuff. You know. Saw the original Halloween at the drive-in. Yeah, that'd have been a good one. You know, all nighttime and dark outside, and you know, you're freaking out and shit. You know. Yeah, a lot of them went belly up, man. In fact, I think we got maybe one left in Kansas City. There was one that we went to forever, and then they, you know, when they went digital, they just, you know, the production wasn't as bright, and it was really hard to see, and you know, they always had, you know, you could like tune in on your radio. Of course, they still had the old, you know, freaking metal hangers that you'd hang, speakers that you'd hang on the windows, but they were all, half the time they were ripped out or didn't work or sounded like shit, blown out, and sometimes you'd have problems with the sound. So people just kind of quit going, you know, and you know, I still would go to the drive-in if they had some. And even the one that was closest to me, it's 40 minutes away, you know. Yeah, dude, get something. You know, sometimes we'd go to like Fun House and get a pizza, take a pizza out there with us, you know, and, you know, definitely some fucking beers or some fucking Sun Country, get like 2-liter bottles of Sun Country wine coolers and shit, and take them out there and get ripped while you're watching a fucking movie and stuff, you know. That was pretty fun for sure. Like I said, hell, we used to barbecue out there. We'd cook steaks, we'd cook burgers and dogs and all kind of stuff. And hey, what's going on, Ryan? Good to see you, brother. How's your week been? You doing good? Oh no, not the 2020. Oh my god, dude. That's like fucking furniture polish, man. You know what I mean? Holy shit. I don't know. I drank some of that a little bit, but you know, like I said, that was, you know, Sun Country was the first ones that I remembered, you know, before they came out with like Bartles and James and all that shit. You know, it's just one flavor, wine cooler, and you know, and you could get it in like 2-liter bottles and shit. We'd go and get 2-liter bottles of that shit before we go to, you know, my senior year. I had shop for 4 hours. I was in machine technology because I was really good at it, and I love machining stuff. But I'd go hook up with my buddies, and we'd go behind the VFW, and you know, I'd go run to the liquor store because they started selling liquor here at like 6 a.m. and I'd go and get like 2 or 3 bottles of Sun Country wine cooler. And then we'd sit in my buddy's Camaro and just sit there and just pound fucking wine coolers and get fucked up before we go to school. And then we'd just go into the shop and just tear some shit up. You know, it was pretty crazy. Right on. Now, I've never had any of the Cisco, but had definitely some Thunderbird, man. You know, or like some fucking Boone's Farm or something. You know, Boone's Farm strawberry. You know, in fact, I remember the first time I ever drank wine coolers. A buddy of mine, Eric Paline, God rest his soul, he died real young, and his parents owned Harry Truman's birth home in Independence, and we got to go party there one night for New Year's Eve. And his dad had this little plastic swimming pool just filled with ice and filled with wine coolers. And I remember drinking them damn things and getting so freaking sick. Oh my God, dude. Just hanging off of the porch rail, just hurling that shit, man. That stuff just, I didn't know what to expect. Drank way too fucking much of it. And it was so sweet, you know, it had so much damn sugar in it and everything, you know. And, and the old crack juice, you know. But after that, man, that's when I was like, okay, I started drinking like Bacardi Silver and freaking vodka and shit. I was like, fuck this crap. I'll drink some beers and drink some clear liquor, you know. But yeah, man. And then I remember I went to go see Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing with a buddy of mine at the Blue Ridge East Theater. It's long gone. It's not there anymore. And it was one of those, you know, when you go to the movies, man, it was like, had the big giant 70 millimeter screen, and it was like a production, you know, and had the red curtains that take, you know, 5 minutes to draw back open before they, you know, put the show on. And we went to go see Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And we had our coats and our pants. We had parachute pants, dude, and you know, all them zippers and pockets on them some bitches. And we had those motherfuckers crammed full of Michelob, bottles of Michelob, and we were pounding those and just fucking setting them down on the floor. And I remember when Bug It Down was fucking going off right before Sal got pissed off and beat the shit out of Raheem's fucking radio, I started fucking going, holy fuck, and I kicked my foot. And all these fucking Michelob bottles, man, fucking started falling over and just rolling down the fucking theater, just clinking and banging into fucking chairs and shit. And they ended up fucking the ushers come in and fucking figured out that we were the ones that were drinking in there, and they ended up fucking kicking us out. So, and we didn't get to see the end of the fucking movie. So we were like, well, it's close to being over anyway. So we just went out to the fucking car and fucking rolled a joint and smoked that, and then came back in and watched it all over again so we could see the whole movie. You know, that was a good movie. You know, that was one of my favorite Spike Lee's movie, and got a lot of people in it that, you know, really made something of themselves, you know, in TV and movies for sure. What's some of you guys' favorite movie memories from when you were younger? I've been to a lot of them. Man, I seen E.T., the extraterrestrial, when it came out at the drive-in when we moved to Denver in the early 80s. That was cool. I remember seeing that at the drive-in. And, dude, so Nolan Road and 40 Highway in Independence back in the day, they used to have this little diner in the parking lot of Kmart. And I don't know if y'all know what Kmart is, but, you know, you probably do. You know, it was like a department store, and, you know, the Kmart blue light specials, you know, they'd turn the blue light on. It's kind of like the rollback thing, you know, way back in the day. And we was sitting in this diner, and dude, they used to have a fucking X-rated drive-in on the corner of this fucking thing over across the fucking street, you know, and it had, you know, XXX, and it had all, you know, fucking, you know, Debbie Does Dallas, and, you know, Behind the Green Door, and just all these old fucking porn movies and shit that they were showing at the drive-in, you know what I mean? I never fucking seen anything like it in my life, you know, and I kind of wish they'd bring that back, you know. I wouldn't mind going to the Triple X drive-in nowadays and shit. It might be fun. You know, who knows? Ryan, what you smoking on tonight, man? You smoking that Atabay? Have you smoked that yet? Hopefully it's a good one. I love those Sabioses, man. That's a great fucking Vitola. Really, really enjoy those cigars, man, for sure. Another movie that I remember seeing for the first time at the drive-in was the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, that was one of the first movies that ever really scared the shit out of me, man. I had nightmares about that movie for weeks. You know, that was such a trippy deal with Freddy, and, you know, how he'd come fuck you up in your dreams and shit, you know. Oh, of course, man. That's no worries, brother. Just, it's ready to smoke, you know. It's got some decent age on it and shit, and just, you know, save that for, you know, a special occasion or a nice night or whatever. And you know, I love them, you know. Just something about that Costa Rican tobacco that's just really unique and enjoyable. Uh, you know, I'm glad you got it, and I hope you really enjoy it, man. It should be a good smoke for you, brother, for sure. I was wanting to do another remote show tonight, but it's been raining its ass off here in Kansas City a lot in the last, you know, week or so. And so I just, you know, had to come down the Death Star and do it out. I did do you know, did do a new you know, background and shit for the show tonight. Came out pretty fucking good. I was pretty happy with it. Something different, you know. Boy, this thing is really getting. What am I tasting? It's almost like a plum. Tasty plum. Got a sweetness to it there. One of them 16 tasting notes that I'm going to find from here to there. So everybody got big plans for Mother's Day? What's everybody doing? You guys cooking stuff, or you know, got some good gifts for mom? Get to go spend some time with mom? Sipping on some good old Barks root beer from Quick Trip, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys got Quick Trips where you're from, but it's, you know, the freaking Taj Mahal of freaking convenience stores. But man, their fountain Barks root beer is like the best I ever had. I love me some Barks. I didn't even know what it was until we moved out to Denver in 1980. Well, Littleton, Colorado, but yeah, I remember them silver cans, and I remember drinking that for the first time. And I was like, whoa, this is some different shit, you know. Really, really dug um, the Barks root beer, but theirs is just something about it. You know, it's kind of like when you go, you know, nobody's got a Coke that tastes like McDonald's. You know what I mean? And I'm almost thinking that, uh, you know, McDonald's is so different because it's still, you know, they probably got some kind of in with them or something, but it's still like the original Coke formula. You know, not the, you know, not the cocaine Coke, you know, but just the original Coke formula, you know. But that's kind of the way their root beer is, man. It's really good. I really, really dig on it. And it's sometimes it's good to have a little something sweet, you know, to sip on with a cigar. Of course, you know, I've been pairing with the coffees and doing all that stuff, and been doing pretty good, man. I think where am I at? I think like maybe 40, 42, yeah, 43 days sober today, gang. That's quite the accomplishment for me. But I haven't missed it a bit, you know. I haven't even really been like, you know, walking through the grocery store and there's that massive liquor section right there. I haven't even thought about having a drink. God, I feel so much better. Actually not aching and hurting all the damn time, and you know, pretty great. We all quiet tonight. You guys watching a movie? What's some of you guys' favorite movies that you like to watch? Like, what's your your go-to classic? Like, you know, what's your Forrest Gump, man? What's the movie that every time it comes on, pretty much no matter what, you get hooked into it and you watch it? You know, like mine would be like Forrest Gump. You know, I've probably seen that 100 times if I've seen it once. You know, you know, or like Shawshank or something like that. And of course, you know, the original Star Wars trilogies, I've seen that about 5,000 times. You know, still like to watch it. You know, some of the other ones were good, um, but I don't know. Like I didn't get into like, you know, the Jar Jar Binks shit and stuff like that. Kind of was like, oh my god, this is weird. And you know, like the Clone Wars stuff was kind of weird. And I don't know. They kind of Disney kind of redeemed themselves later on, you know, with some of the last ones. They actually have really good story, really good production value. You know, it was cool seeing, you know, Luke come back and finish everything out. Loved watching that. And man, I've watched for the first time in probably 10 years. I watched Caddyshack the other night. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that's a good movie. I freaking that got me wanting to play golf. You know, remember watching that and having to go out and try to find some orange balls. You know, man, radio silence. Well, all right, so um I got another thing this week that I was really, really happy about. So, um, Steve Saka, the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, puts out every year this, it's called the Con Fiddlehead. It's one of his, you know, exclusive yearly releases. Just crazy, insanely delicious cigar. And, man, I was lucky to. I had to go to two different places to do it, but I ordered 2 boxes of those this week. And man, I was so pumped because they sold out like super fast. I mean, I don't know. Uh, I don't know, man. It just he didn't make a whole lot of them. I think he made more this year than he did last year, but they went quick. And got some hints from Steve as to who was still carrying it and who still had them on his Facebook. So thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, steering people towards the goodies, man. 'Cause I cannot wait to get some of those. And I'll probably end up doing some giveaways on those because hell, I'm going to have 2 boxes of them. And if you never had them, they're insanely good. It's just a really delicious cigar, and damn, man, just really dig it. You guys still hearing me okay? Is my voice doing all right? I feel like my mic's kind of messing up on me or something. Do I sound all right? What happened? Did YouTube shut me off again? Is anybody in the room here with me still? All right. This is making me mad. They've probably done it. I'm going to try to come back. I don't know. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody see me? I see there's like 2 people in here, but I'm not seeing any comments coming through or anything. All right, I'm going to try to start a new stream and come back in because I'm not seeing anybody. I'll be back. Peace.
Thanks for watching the Old Fogey Stogies.